Hey everyone, it is Michael V. Moore, aka McVinny, aka Mr. Travel Fitness. Today I want to talk to you about Dunkin' Donuts. So the reason I want to talk about Dunkin' Donuts is because as I traveled all across the United States, one of the most consistent restaurants slash fast food places you find in airports is Dunkin' Donuts. And the reason is pretty obvious because you have flights early in the morning as well as late at night. And what better way to treat yourself than have a nice cup of coffee to keep you awake and also donuts. Donuts are good in the morning, for lunch, and even for dinner because they're sweet and they're like your reward for yourself. As I say that, I see this little picture of a donut here. Talk about get rewarded. It's hilarious. But one of the things that most people who actually eat at Dunkin' Donuts don't really realize is exactly what's inside that food they're eating. So I want to kind of take a look behind the scenes because it's very rare for people to actually pay attention to the nutritional information at Dunkin' Donuts. And I just want to shed some light on some of this stuff just so on your next trip, you will understand why Mr. Travel Fitness highly recommends certain foods and doesn't necessarily recommend the majority of the stuff that you will find at a place like Dunkin' Donuts. It's okay for those rare treats, but once you see a lot of these numbers, you probably will never want to eat another donut in your life. So I'm going to divide this up into two parts. So the first part today, we're going to dive straight into the food aspect of Dunkin' Donuts. And then in the second part, we'll talk more about the drinks because Dunkin' Donuts has become, next to Starbucks, the next biggest coffee spot in America, that is. I'm not sure about worldwide, but definitely in America, they're only second to Starbucks. So let's start off with talking about the food aspect of it. So obviously, when you hear the name Dunkin' Donuts, the first thing that's going to come to mind is something like this delicious looking vanilla cake batter donut. Oh my goodness, how crazy is that? Just look at that. That's just asking to add inches to your waist. Come on, just look at that. It looks good. Not really. It kind of disgusts me a little bit. But I've seen that they've upped their game. So not only do you have donuts at Dunkin' Donuts, you now have like breakfast sandwiches. And that's why I really want to explore is like these breakfast sandwiches because most of the donuts are going to be very unhealthy. So let's go to food and drink. Like I said, we'll take a look at the donuts really quick. I'm pretty sure. I just want you to just look at just what one donut contains, for instance, because sugar. You should not be eating a lot of sugar. You should not be eating a lot of fats, and that's what donuts are. It's just sugar and fats. Not healthy fats, and you don't need that much sugar. If you need that much sugar in you, you better have just done a really, really great workout. But the fact that all these donuts contain so much fat, it's just not worth it. And it's funny, saying making people smile since 1950. Yeah, but it forgets to say, hey, we've been making people fat as well since 1950. And if that word offends you, I apologize, but I'm not going to apologize because it's true. Donuts will make you fat. Too many donuts are not good for you. Okay. So let me just look at some. Let me see how does this work. Okay. So I'm just going to randomly pick something. So I'm going to go with a glazed donut, a Boston cream, because I always associate Boston cream with Dunkin' Donuts. And we'll do just an old fashioned, because an old fashioned is pretty much the basic of the basic of Dunkin' Donuts, of a donut in general. Wow. Okay. So let's see what we come across here. Boston cream, or is it Bavarian? Yeah. So let's start off with the Boston cream donut, right? So this is just one lonely Boston cream donut. And pretty much carbs 37 grams, fat 16 grams, protein 3 grams. If you ever been following McVinney in any of my travel fitness advice, you know that whenever you're on the road, whenever you're traveling, you should always emphasize protein when you eat if possible. And the equation I like to say is like it's like a seesaw between fat and carbs. If fat is high, you want carbs to be low. If carbs is high, you want fat to be low. And in this case, like protein is just so low to begin with, you always want protein higher than your carbs and fats. If everything was perfect, ideally, that's what you want. But when you travel, it's never going to be perfect. But I can tell you right now, the fact that you have so much sugar, you have even more sugar than fat as far as grams. That's interesting. But this right here is a Boston cream donut. And basically, the reason you don't want to have high fat and high sugar, or excuse me, high fat, high carbs, is because all that does for you, it's not going to fill you up. It's just going to make you want more. You want more, 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 more. And that's why I said donuts are not great for you. When you're in a rush, when you're traveling, yeah, it may taste good on your taste buds, but the truth is you're basically putting 300 calories into your system. That's not doing anything. It's not making you full. It's just empty. It's just wasted calories altogether. So we start off with the Boston cream donut, which is 300 calories. Okay. And let me see, what was the next one? There's so many donuts. So many donuts. I just wanted a simple glazed donut. Okay, just a simple glazed donut. Contains just a little bit of less fat than the previous donut, but it's not that big significant difference. 260 calories here. So a glazed donut actually contains less calories than the Boston cream donut. But guess what? Really think about it. The glazed donut. How many of you actually like bite into a glazed donut and it pretty much melts in your mouth? Guess what? The chance of you just eating one glazed donut and being satisfied is highly, highly unlikely. Most likely it's going to take about 2 to 4 to 5 to 6 of those bad boys to make you feel any type of way. Why? Because it's lots of sugar, lots of fat. So it's really not worth the effort. Not worth the effort at all. So many donuts. And let's go to the old fashioned. And this is a perfect example. You never know what you're going to get until you actually do your own research. So if you look at an old-fashioned cake donut, which is basically how donuts are supposed to be, you see that this actually contains more calories than a glazed donut. I'm a little surprised at that. I would have thought a glazed donut would have contained more sugar on the outside because of the glaze than an old-fashioned cake donut. But no, an old-fashioned cake donut actually has more fat, and that's what made the calories increase just slightly more. Again, it's really not worth the effort, okay? You're not gonna, even though people like to look at the calories, oh my gosh, it's only like 290 calories. Oh my, like it's good to eat. No, it's not. It's wasted calories. It's like it's not doing anything for you. It's hurting your body more than helping your body. It's just going to give you a headache. It's not providing any type of substance for you whatsoever. And I love the fact they got this picture of an egg over here because I guess eggs are part of making this donut to make it seem healthy with the wheat and the soy and stuff because I guess it's the allergens. But look at all these ingredients. How many of you can say all of these ingredients? Between the wheat flour, thiamine, mononitrate. Come on, look at this. Do you need all this in your body? Does this look like a healthy thing that you should have in your body? No. Don't get fooled. Remember this. Remember all this. If you can't pronounce something, konjac flour. I never even heard of that. Wow. But defatted wheat germ? Seriously? Defatted wheat germ. This is what's in these donuts. You do not need this in your system, okay? I think that was the last donut I want to show because pretty much I think you got the good idea. It's nothing No difference. Every donut is going to be exactly the same. I'm going to randomly pick one too. Eclair. Just under 400. See how many ingredients are in the eclair? And it's just not worth it. Oh my gosh, yeah, they got 5 grams of protein. Like, well, it sounds great. No, no, no. 50 grams of carbs. That's ridiculous just for one eclair donut. Okay, let's get out of here and let's go look at the food items that they now have. Sandwich and wraps. So this is also something I want to talk about. Is this DD Smart? So this is something I had no idea they had at Dunkin Donuts, and I want to see if I can compare the two. So what it is here for Dunkin Donuts, because I'm not familiar with this. There's some people who may eat Dunkin Donuts every single day, but what they have is all these breakfast sandwiches. And if you ever followed any of my other videos, I like to do the eye test first. So when it comes towards eating these foods, I always try and find the foods that would have the less amount of fat, the less amount of carbs, with the highest amount of protein. So protein is what you emphasize first. Why? Because you're trying to get substance. Protein is the one macronutrient that actually helps with making you feel satisfied, like you actually ate something and will actually fill you up. That's why we emphasize protein so much. Yes, it's nice that it helps with the muscle building process because you should be doing some type of workout, some type of resistance workout to keep your body in shape. And that's why we gravitate towards protein. But really, it has more to do with you get more your body does more with the protein than it will with the carbohydrates and fat combination. So you always try and go for the protein first, and then either carb or fat for your energy, never both. And every single one of these sandwiches have cheese on it. So that already automatically tell me that, hey, cheese and bread, this is going to be high fat, high carbs. And so if I was just to do the eye test, just like I said, just the eye test, I can tell that these two, the turkey sausage flatbread and the veggie egg white flatbread, might be the best choices. So let me see if I can play around with those. So we go with the turkey sausage first. And it seems that they have different choices. So this is why I was saying, like, if you're unfamiliar, because I was unfamiliar with this as well until I was doing my research on this, that Dunkin' Donuts has this smart option. And what it is they're basically trying to sell you that, hey, this is more healthier than our regular sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant. So all they did is try and advertise the fact that this is on a flatbread. This is going to be quote unquote healthier than the same item on a croissant. So here we have 28 grams of fat, 32 grams of carbs, 26 grams of protein. So this is a classic example of what I'm saying. I love the amount of protein you get here, but I hate the fact that it's so high in carbs and so high in fat at the same time. One of these numbers need to go. And I'm not sure where the saturated fat is coming from. The fact that this is a restaurant, fast food joint, this saturated fat most likely isn't from a great source. So always be aware of that when you travel. Most likely your food is going to contain more fats, especially saturated fats, than it would, for instance, if you cooked it yourself, where you can control the amount of saturated fat. And I definitely know that's not the good type of saturated fat like you would find in coconut oil. Definitely not. I love the amount of protein, but this is just too high in fat, too high in carbs. We would like to get one of those numbers lower. So one of the simple solutions is you could just ditch the bread altogether. If you ditch the bread altogether, that'll take pretty much most of the carbs down. A little of your protein will go down as well. I don't think they have it where I can go detail enough. Yeah. Sometimes when you go to people's websites, they will allow you to create custom-made items. In this case, it's not letting me. So I'm not sure exactly how much is in like the bread or just the meat. Okay, so this was 480 grams excuse me, 480 calories total. So I just want to compare that to the I guess what is it, the steak, egg, and cheese. That was turkey sausage. Where was it? Sausage, egg, and cheese. Again, it's not really organized. See, this is also, you can tell when the site is organized or not, or if they emphasize nutrition or not, because they'll try and hide stuff from you. So, okay, so here is an example. This is the croissant. I guess this is, it doesn't say if it's turkey sausage or not. So I'm just going to assume it, even though it doesn't look like it. Interesting. But here, anyways, this is a croissant. 700 grams of calories, right? Wow, I keep saying grams of calories. It's just 700 calories. 50 grams of fat with 20 grams of saturated fat. That is a big no, freaking no. That's way too much fat. Way too much fat. With all those carbs, that's twice as much grams of fat as grams of protein. So that's automatically a big no, no, no. This is a problem right here. So you can see why they came up with the flatbread option. So if I just did my eye test, I know the bagel or English muffin would probably contain less calories. Oh, the bagel barely contains lower amount of calories, but as you can see, the fat went down significantly. But as the fat went down, the bagel has more carbs. So it's all this high fat, high carb food items that it's just not necessary. So if I was ordering from this place, first off, they don't even have no vegetables except for the veggie egg white, and I'm pretty sure that's like not real vegetable. Vegetables is like just barely half of a, not even half, I would probably say like a half a teaspoon worth of look like green peppers, red peppers, so it's probably barely anything in it. And even though it says veggie, it's really not that much. But this is a better option. If you had to make an option, I still would avoid this place because I'm not seeing anything that makes me really thrilled. But this is somewhat, because the amount of fat is okay. As far as what you're going to find at this place, I mean, this is Dunkin' Donuts. This is a fast food place. They don't really care about your health. That's not what they're in the business of. So yeah, so here's a veggie egg white flatbread. Looks okay. So far, it's a better option. As far as what you're gonna find from this place, like I said, I can easily do the eye test, and this is a little bit better option. But again, if you really want to lower this, all you gotta do is ditch your bread. And does this contain cheese? Yeah. And if you want to really lower your fat, all you gotta do is tell them to take the cheese off. So it's either, you have a choice, either take the cheese off or take the flatbread away. And this would be my best choice between this and the turkey sausage flatbread. Because yeah, even here, even if you took the cheese away from here, you would get probably around 14 grams of fat or something like that. Which actually, yeah, it's not too bad. So those would be like, I'm pretty good at this point. If you know nothing about me and it's your first time learning about Mr. Travel Fitness, I'm pretty much good at eyeballing a lot of these sandwiches because I used to travel so much. And you kind of just get a sense of this. Anything with bacon is not even worth considering because bacon is really pretty much just added fat. It's not enough protein in bacon. And when I say that, I'm especially talking about when you get bacon from restaurants. This isn't like high quality whole food bacon. No, this is cheap because they're trying to make fast food for you. They're going to use the cheapest products possible to put in your body. And let's take a look at the ham, egg, and cheese. And the one thing, like I said, I kind of dislike that I can't customize and take like the bread or the cheese out so I can see the numbers like I could do at some, if you ever seen some of my previous videos like McDonald's or Chipotle, or even Panera bread, I was able to take items out and get a better idea of what's what. And the ham, egg, and cheese, for instance, if I took the cheese away, this might not be as bad. Yeah, if I took the cheese away, I think the protein would go down slightly, but the carbs would would stay about the same. So if I worked out and I just took the cheese away from this, I think this would be a good post workout meal. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. But I just know that looking at ham again at a restaurant, most likely they use a lower cut of ham, and so it's not going to contain as much protein as you could if you got it from like a grocery store. So this isn't too bad. The turkey flatbread just would contain more protein even once you took the cheese away. So I would probably still go with that before this, but this isn't too bad. And I already know that croissant contains the most fat. The biscuit, I haven't clicked on that, but I'll just click on that so you can see how drastically the fat goes up when you click on biscuits. So that's why I wasn't clicking on biscuits. And then when you go to bagels, you see how the fat goes down significantly, but the carbs go up as well, pretty high. And so pretty much the English muffin in is the lowest amount of calories that you will find. Okay. So I think that would wrap it up for food wise because there's nothing else really here that I'm going to see. Egg and cheese, I mean, it's the same thing as what you saw with ham, egg, and cheese, except for without the ham, which means it's going to contain an even lower amount of protein. So if I had to pick the sandwiches, the turkey sausage flatbread, I'll take the cheese out. If I wanted to go the high carb route, if you want to go the high fat route, you would just ditch the bread. Okay, either or, you have an option. Same thing with the veggie egg white, but if you're gonna go with the egg white or some type of egg, you're better off going with the turkey sausage because you're gonna get a little more protein. So, and then, whoop, I accidentally clicked back. And then the ham, egg, and cheese wasn't too bad. Again, the sausage egg, I don't know if they're using turkey sausage or pork sausage. It's not very clear on this website, so I'm a little confused about that. So those will be my options. And I guess before I close this out, I will look at the steak and egg and cheese just so I can see. But looking at that, does that look like a real piece of steak to you? Come on. Come on. Let's see if it surprises me or not. Angus steak. 630 calories already. 34 grams of protein. Again, here we have super high carbs, okay amount of protein, but the fat is also high. So we need to get rid of one of those numbers. So you can either take the cheese away. Even if you took the cheese away, this will still be high calorie. So it's not as awful as I thought it would be, but still, everything on a bagel, I know the carbs were the highest when they were on the bagel. Me, I would prefer the last three choices I was talking about before this. So there you have it. I'm not going to bother going with the rest of these because, like I said, the bacon, I already know what bacon does. Hash browns, yeah, right. There's no protein. There's no substance there. Just leave it up. I'll click on this wake up wrap just because I have no idea what it is. This is just, I guess you can custom make it. I don't really get this, but let's see what it does. And it doesn't even work correctly, so ignore it. I guess this allows you to make your own, but it's really not telling me any information. Yeah, so it's nice that they do have this option. It's just not really, the information here isn't really telling me anything. So I see they still have to get it right. So let's pretend like this never happened, okay? So that concludes the food portion of Dunkin' Donuts. Just pretty much avoid the donuts. It's not worth your time. And if you must have a sandwich, go with the turkey sausage flatbread, the veggie egg white flatbread, and maybe possibly the ham, egg, and cheese on an English muffin. But with all these, you most likely will want to either ditch the bread or ditch the cheese. You probably should not keep the cheese and the bread combination. That's just wasted calories. Not only is it wasted calories, but it's just going to make you feel awful. It's not going to make you feel great about yourself. It's yeah, it's just not a great combination. Emphasize the protein, but stick with either emphasizing fat as your energy source or emphasizing carbohydrates as your energy source when you're traveling or on the go at Dunkin' Donuts. So I'll see you next time with the coffee. I will go through their drinks, mainly coffee, but yeah, I'll talk more about the drinks in part 2. Take care.